I'll miss the sea. But a person needs new experiences. They jar something deep inside, the longing to grow. Without change, something sleeps inside us and seldom awakens. The sleeper must awaken.
Hi everyone. Hold on 1 second. Okay. You know when you're walking somewhere and you there's a pile of stones? Maybe you'll see that, or maybe some of you will make one of those. Okay, so sorry. Jumping into it. So this month we're in Pisces season, or whenever you arrive, we are looking at Earth energy. So Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. I thought the Trinity would be a nice way to look at it because that creates a position of positive power. We're also talking about Saturn, Venus, and Mercury. If you want to look at it in different ways. If you are learning astrology, that's also something to remember, that all the elements make a triangle. That's why, for instance, if you're Taurus Sun, you probably get along with Capricorn Sun, right? You probably get along with Virgo folks and have things in common. And a trine or triangle is something that is of a friendly nature, right? It doesn't have opposition in it. So we're gonna start with Capricorn because I feel like you're a stronghold. Not only your support and energy that's put into this place to make this reading happen, but also just in general, in a worldly sense. You know, you kind of Capricorn holds the energy of this world sort of together. But as an individual, or wherever we have Capricorn stars there, what have you, we probably feel that unconsciously at times, right? Like, wow, I have a lot to hold, I'm holding a lot together here. But each individual person within that togetherness is, at least at some point, once they become conscious or adult, hey Chippy, right, they go off on their own and each person holds their own weight. Hey second Chippy. Cute. I'm really happy we're outside for your reading too. I feel like earth energy should be with the earth, as close to the earth as possible, as much as possible, right? Okay, so guess we'll start out with an exercise that I see. Could be something to just contemplate the last time you've done this, but there's something about us. I keep seeing someone writing a letter. It doesn't have to be something that's necessarily sent to the recipient. It could just be something, but it could be. It could be. When's the last time you wrote a letter? And I'm seeing someone write a letter to their future self. I heard future partner, future house. Like wherever you're at, I guess there's that kind of energy too. I heard, hi, nice to meet you. Maybe just writing in general in this time, Capricorn, could also be... I feel like this could give a person some kind of awareness. It could even be a bit revealing. You know, it could also be topics here that I see as well, like, and specifically with the cards is what is friendship to a person. Because I guess with this trine energy, again, that's what we're talking about. The foundation of that is friendly energy. It's friendly energy, so, you know, maybe if you do have some friends at a distance, maybe it'd be nice to write them. I heard it doesn't have to be a long, I just saw a card, you know, it could even be something short, but it's a hello in a way that moves through the earth realm, say, versus like sending a text or sending an email, right? That still connects to each person physically, but it feels different when it's tangible. You know, when you can hold it, you can smell it. Okay, I like that. Let's see what else is going on here. So we have the Knight of Wands. He's pretty excitable. That's a sweet muscle car too. What do you drive for a car? Or what kind of that machinery? What do you? Well, I'm seeing someone admire the shape of something. Like they admire the edges of something and how it's put together. If you do have any energy you're trying to get out that you feel as if is blocking you in some way or another, that could also be something that you'd want to write about or write a letter to. And I guess with conjuring or trying to use magic, like intentional magic in something, we'd want to write very slowly, right? We'd want to give space between things. So no need to rush any process right now, if what one is seeking is to create, I guess. Huh. Some of you could also receive a letter from someone. I wonder who will write you a letter. Maybe you'll get something in the mail. Oh, yes. Interesting. This card specifically says, remain alert. For moments of revelation often follow incubating periods of work, study, and meditation. This is with the High Priestess card, Capricorn. Very good. Very good. Oh, your energy feels so much more on track. Oh my God, I just felt like a surge of, like the wind is at your back. But it wasn't cold, it was warm. And a bit electric. Good. Good. So if something's been was feeling a bit stationary, I feel like there's movement now. I mean, I guess to use the energy, a person would have to move with it, maybe to sustain it a little bit better. But we don't need to run. We don't need to run with it. It's just what have you been studying about lately? Or like meditating on, working on? What have you been doing there? Because whatever that is I see is actually a really good thing. Doodling could also be something that's helpful to Capricorn, like a way to loosen. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, this doesn't have to be perfect. This is just me intentionally trying to do something. Like putting your all into it without, again, an expectation of what that's supposed to be, because it's just the process of creation in and of itself. Huh. Yeah, there's an attractive energy. It's attracting something. I also feel like I saw the word detract too. There's something that but I'm seeing it in the sense where there was a train track and there was, again, like a block or like something in the way, and it's just not there now. And I heard full speed ahead, but with the train, again, it has to build up momentum. Okay. So there is something with friendship that wants to be considered. I don't know if this is positive or negative for you, but especially if there's any negative. I don't know if this is about an old friend or a particular person, or just the concept of like I heard what's a true blue friend, right? What do you want your friendship circles to feel like? How do you want to feel within them, or be understood within them? I feel like if this is an old situation where there's pain attached, say, I don't know if it's like grief or well, I actually heard disgust. I don't know if that's disgust in someone's self. It's like letting go of something. I feel like that writing would be something more that would like want to be burned versus sent, actually like have the receiver, the recipient receive it. Because it's not meant to be what, again, like this projection of irritation outward towards the thing that caused the feeling. It's releasing the feeling within a person that's again blocking them from, well, maybe being more of what they want to be. Yeah, I heard that's the action to take to alleviate the heavy. Okay. It's a small thing too. It's not that big. I heard whatever's in the way. Oh, there's that writing exercise too, right? The artist way. That's the only thing I've ever done out of that book, is they have this like in the mornings when you wake up, you know, even before you get dressed, before anything, when it's sort of you're in between that alpha beta wave, brainwave, you just sit down and you write, you know, for 10, I think they suggest 20 minutes, but it's just kind of like coming into your body. What do you do for the first 20 minutes when you get up? You also have this really cool word, that may be something too, like an expansion of language upon something. Like there's more of an ability to be able to articulate what's happening, or what a person wants to see happen. But we have this word epistolize, Epistolize. It's a cool word. All words with Z's are cool, right? In ways of creativity or work or things like that, your thoughts and ideas on, again, what you want to happen, I feel like a person has done enough studying, although that could be an interest in this time, but I feel like it's more of an expansion upon where something is now versus, I heard, coming at it from left field. Hey, chippies. They're playing with each other, so happy that the seasons are changing. I am too. I'm very happy to be outside. And to know that I'm not going to die. You know, like, it's not harsh right now. It's, I mean, I still have to be aware that this isn't a full change yet. It's gonna fluctuate a little bit before it gets its tempo, but you can feel that the change is positive, and it's definitely something that's I see being looked forward to. They're so freaking cute. I love chipmunks. All right, so is that all we gotta say? Yeah, I guess we looped. We stayed on the same path, right? And discussed it in different ways. I'd say that's enough for today. Remember, even if you don't have stars in a house, the energy of that house is important, right? Wherever we have an earth house, it is actually quite stable, right? It's something we can always rely upon. And I heard maybe that's part of someone's character that also needs to be acknowledged. Because I see those places of comfort are very much available to a person. There's like open arms there. Okay. Love you, Capricorn. Okay, let's take a timestamp. What do we got here? 15. Let's start at 15:30. For some reason, I wrote Virgo second, so hi, Virgo. Hi, Virgo. I love it when you joke around and you're not 1,000 times serious. When you just let it flow. It's pretty nice. Okay. I feel like, okay, something either needs to be or wants to be organized in a way of alphabet, dang it, I can't say it. Something wants to be alphabetized. Just a second. The chippy just looked like it grew wings. It was cool. Okay. If you, okay, this day's about writing, I guess. So here's an exercise for you. So, say you went through your legacy. Like, I know that's a big one. But when you're like, all right, this is what I've done in my life. And you write that down. And then alphabetize that. I also see you should give yourself, thank you. Well, I guess appreciation in ways of well, I'm seeing a person acknowledge their good points. Like I heard someone say, I know I'm a loving person. So loving would be like an L, right? And maybe want to make a little list that way too. I'm seeing someone with files also, so maybe some of your studying, you're always learning and studying, right? Organizing things. You love to organize, me too. But maybe it's cleaning up, because I saw someone with a bunch of like, it's kind of like they were going through old papers in a way, or this could just be tapping into, if you're studying with books, I guess this would be older schools of thought, or like tapping into like an old idea, be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I feel like when you're in the old, tapping into these old, you're actually going to have these new perspectives of what you could do now with that, if it's still something that you'd want to say bring more to life. Okay, cool. Just a minute. Pardon me. This thing's so tall, it's hard to drink out of. Okay, you also have this really awesome word that I don't know if I'll be able to pronounce. Abecedarian? Abecedarian? Can you see? Sorry. Shit. Will that... Nope. A-B-E-C, as in cat, E-D-A-R-I-A-N. It's because this is the thing. Once it's alphabetized, once something's alphabetized or organized in this way, then you could take it and be like, okay, what if I heard? What if this feels like light and bright to me? What is this that sits in the shadow? You can choose. It's almost like a four square, but like you could choose. Whatever you want these other sort of categories to be. You could even do it by color. Depending on what you're working on here. Hi, Zoomy. So you got the woodpecker and the crow. So Mars and Saturn. That's a lot of power, right? It's also a lot of responsibility and it's an awareness of responsibility around power, right? Because Mars and Saturn are both, in a sense, malefic. So we have to use them with care, right? And we have to use, when we interact with that energy or use that energy, which is a Capricornian word, a Saturn word, we want to use that participate with that with care and patience, right? Just a minute. Let's actually see what's connected to that. Well, I heard, what if you organized by feeling versus is it intellectually? Well, I guess the sentence is this: what if, the question is, what if we organized emotionally? Hold on. Yeah, it's so good. When Earth energy doesn't take themselves too seriously is when things flow better, right? Because we just have to I realized that the other day I was trying to watercolor. I was practicing. And I used to do it all the time, but then I took a break and started doing other things. But at some point when I was practicing more daily with this, making it intentional, a part of my day, or very much a part of my routine, it became something that was really fluid. But when there was this gap in between, I realized the other day when I was practicing that it felt really it felt intentional in the sense of like, it's supposed to be, I'm trying to make this like this. And then I realized, well, I don't do so hot like that. Or rather I do. It's always the expression of what could be in something that feels pleasing comes from when we don't really try that hard, right? In ways of like a worry of what it's going to be. Do you have a dictionary? Maybe it's like a stitchumancy is this month, or some kind of a book will give you. It's like just someone's just playing. They're just playing a game, and they're having fun, and because of that, new information flows in that's really helpful. Just a minute. Oh, someone's starting to feel more like themselves. There's something that a person lost or was separated from that they find again. It's the same thing in a different version. Just a second. Okay, here's a question for you. What do you dream of handing down to those who will come after you? And how can you make that so? Or how have you made that so? Because I'm sure there's still more that you want to do and to share. And it's beautiful when Virgo comes down the mountain and shares what they know, shares who they are. And especially with a feeling of peace in themselves, right? Like where there's no judgment at the self or worried about anyone else's. Because you're just being like however you've been created. This is also something too. This is look around. Can you identify artifacts that were made by the hands of a person whose life has ended? Do you sense that energy lives through that creation? Do we talk about that, like ancient text or old books? Chippies are playing. Just a minute. Perfect. So I see some really dear, loving, there's like loving kindness here. And I do feel like once we alphabetize or organize whatever we were talking about there, then, because like for instance, Capricorn had a little bit of a block, but it felt more physical through the emotional state. Yours is emotional through the fire, like through the fire. It's like an energetic shifting. I heard you don't have to move. Technically, you don't have to make any big, I see major physical moves to shift the energy to have something flow more in your own natural tendency. It's like a place where you feel more comfortable. You can like kick shoes off about something, right? You don't always have to have your boots on, if you will, so to speak. Who's your favorite singer or musician? Like I see a female musician particularly. Who do you connect to there? Like who do you deem as a that you're so glad as them as a creator, like they put out what they did, right? Say it was a singer. It's just like, oh, well, they put themselves out there. They practiced, like they shared. Because a lot of times with songs, it's people are so raw in music, right? Like about how they feel. And you wouldn't think sometimes to be vulnerable would be something that's successful because it feels too naked. But it's exactly that courage to be vulnerable that helps the connection and the creation continue even after, for instance, like someone's gone. You know, whether it's a book or music or whatever. So I guess it's important for us as humans to put out our creation, to share what we create with the world, but I suppose just not having an expectation of what the response would be, or worried about that again, because a person's just being themselves and sharing who they are. Okay. I feel like if you have a vehicle and you drive a lot, like, it would be good to go for more walks. Where is exercise something that sort of brings up your heart rate, like, so this would make the heart muscle stronger. Like, where is that in the alphabetized list? Like, where is exercise in there? Because I suppose within that you would write what you would do to make that happen. Like, maybe it's dancing for some of you, or you know, however you go about this. Exercise will actually give you energy too. You know, it's funny how sometimes we're tired and we feel like, I don't have the energy to do that, or I have to exert more energy to get energy, but I don't have it right now. It's like, yeah. Yeah. Does the trick. Oh, the house needs dusting too. That'll help. I guess it's dusting off these old things too. So this also shows me the person has what they need. Maybe even a bit more, right? Because when things become dusty, we haven't used them, but they're there. So it's an opportunity. And then I'm seeing someone open that book and then, like, point it, or like find that album, and they're like, oh, what's this song again? And then whatever those lyrics are, it like changes the person's perspective or energy. Again, I could shift it that way. Huh. Capricorn had this. You have, I don't know what kind of car that is, but little sports car. What's your favorite fast car? Or what's your thing that goes fast that you find intriguing? You may or may not be one that, like, wants to own that and have it be yours ultimately, but you find it intriguing. What is that? What do we got here? 32? We'll do 33. Love you, Virgo. Hi, Taurus. Hi, Taurus. Okay, so Pisces season, or whenever you find this, we're looking through the lesson of Earth, and you're ruled by Venus, right? So that's nice. Venus in Pisces is exalted, so could be a very creative time for you. Could also be a bit indulgent, so with certain things. I don't know if it's like food, drink, what have you, sleep. If it's sleep, you'd probably want to catch up a little, because it's about to be your birthday, right? Pardon me. Where's your art studio, or where do you make art? And then I just saw someone's bed. There could be some ideas that are coming through sleep, or when you rest your mind from whatever you're trying to create. Like, you take a rest from that, you take space from that. Even if you love it, you wanting it to grow. It's just like, there could be some really amazing ideas. I'm almost seeing, like, where, like, spirit comes in and, like, helps facilitate something for a person to look at something differently, or to go about what they're trying to go about in a different way. So this is also showing me a time to be open to change. And I'm seeing a cedar tree, hemlock tree. Just a second. If you're stuck, if you're feeling a little stuck creatively for some reason, or you're wanting to like open new doors there, I see an exercise with you could be, I'm seeing someone like kind of clean up a room. And then they take the things that maybe, I guess they could be trash, or just, it's maybe that which is like, I don't need this anymore. But you turn it into something else, right? You take random objects from around the house and like combine them. And like, what can you make with that? I heard it doesn't have any other purpose beyond the fact of creating to like shift to be more open to something. Just a minute. This could even be going through like digital media too. Like, I don't know if this is, there's some kind of reference point. This seems to be collective for earth energy. It's really cool. You know, maybe it's like going through like old computer files, or like you end up finding like, I don't know, maybe there's old pictures that you find, or like something you wrote a long time ago, or it's revisiting something with a different perspective, right? Let's see. Great. Oh, a person's so open to it. Cool. Mercury must be in a really neat position today. It's like, I think something a person was feeling was accurate. This was a mental block for you. Capricorn had water, Virgo had fire, you have air. So it's a shift. It's kind of a shift in mentality, right? It's a shift in perspective on the situation, I guess. And I heard you're prepared enough to step forward into the new zone. And since we're talking about a shift in mentality, although you could have people in your life that are connective, that are supportive, but if there's anyone, Taurus, that drains your energy, where like you worry about them more than you worry about yourself, I heard that's gotta turn, because I heard we want to have faith in allowing other people to, because when we allow other people to handle their own problems and not drain ourselves by trying to handle somebody else's problems, then a lot of other things can be achieved, because the positive part of this is we're again trusting that like people will figure things out. You know, it's having faith in them. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but we never know unless we allow that to happen, right? We never know unless we try. And because you're the bull and so strong, right? Think about that animal just in basic terms. No one can push the bull but you. So if you're changing your mind, you got to make sure that you have space from that which is, well, I guess not supportive to that growth. Do you know what I mean? Encouraging to that growth, even challenging to that growth in a positive way, right? Because we do need those people in our life that like not push us like you should do this exactly, but it's where, well, I guess it would be maybe even a little bit playful, like, dude, of course I heard, dude, of course you can do that, right? Even if it's at a later stage in life. That was something that also came that inspired this reading, was that I feel like that's also really important. Could be a bit of Uranus, Jupiter energy, but it's no matter where you are in life, no matter whether you're like, it's too late for me to do that, or like, like an excuse, sort of. Well, it reminds me of the air energy, right? And no lame excuses. Especially if that excuse is, I can't do it, but I've never tried, right? And I guess if you feel for some reason stuck, again, mentally, where it's hard to shift it, or it's you're feeling something, but you don't, and you know that there's a next step, but you're like, I don't know much about that, or I haven't done that in a long time, then the, pardon me, the air trinity for this time could also be very helpful. Those are kind of your blind spots, right? Gemini's your neighbor, Libra's your inconjunct, and Aquarius is your square. So air to Taurus does have its adjustment points that are needed. And I see in the end game, especially if you, I guess it's figuring out where to put energy, there ends up being like a lot of clarity. Right, because we never know, like, really how something's going to turn out until we do it. And when it is new, there's always something where it's like, I didn't know that was going to happen. Or, oh, all right, I got to deal with this. All right. And then we learn from that. This here says rebuke, which is such a strong word, but it says rebuke any perfectionistic tendencies. And, all right, that's something to sit on. This also says share a wild idea with another person before it even feels quite ready to you. Of course, this would be somebody who's supportive. This is not your enemy. This is not your competitor. This would be someone that is a participant in your life, a pleasant participant, right? Someone on your team. Let me see here. Yep, Pisces time, this little Pisces card is also when your inner child spirit comes out in a very positive way to me. So during this Pisces season, I see there's an emphasis to want to like rest and even have a little bit of play. Again, things a little bit more looser, right? Step back from things, look at things from a different perspective. It's like, it reminds me of when I play chess with myself. It's not about winning and losing in the situation ever. It's just, I'm just participating. I'm just playing. Resting too. I do feel like, actually, if you rest now, Cancer season's good for you. Or as we move into summer. This reminds me of fire energy. Some of you, there's a vacation you're meant to take in the summer. Maybe you want to start planning that now. Some place you'd like to go, or maybe there's like a family vacation, or maybe you just take yourself on vacation. I don't know. What would you like to see happen in summer too? Sort of looking into the future, into the light, where it gets warmer. Good. Just a minute. Okay, let's read this. It says, in French, and I'll butcher this because my French is terrible, but it says, in French, a bricoleur, bricoleur, is a tinkerer. Someone who does odd jobs, like an actor trained to improvise. A bricoleur says yes. And it also says and this is absolutely critical for the improvisational actor because it forces them to construct something fresh and unexpected. The master improviser seeks only opportunities and never cast-off or mistakes. Never cast-offs or mistakes. Sees only opportunities. Now I see to see an opportunity, which means to understand that something is available. It may not be in a person's grasp, but it's in sight, right? I suppose that comes from looking around and knowing what you're looking for too, right? I'm looking for, I'm looking for Main Street. It's like, okay, oh, there's a sign. There's Main Street right there. Take a right. Oh, so you finally made it to town. Remember when you were driving and we were at the stop sign, but we were waiting for the stop sign to turn green? And you had been waiting there so long that, like, you were running out of gas and you're like, what the heck is going on? Feeling on empty. Well, I guess you made it to town. You got a full tank of gas, and now it wants you to explore some new roads. Explore a new space. Maybe some of you will do a little traveling now till summer. A little bit of exploring there. It's almost like when the papers get out of order. When something gets out of order is actually when something creative comes in. It helps a person to see something when it's a little bit disorganized. Or again, like mixed up in a way that we think like, okay, it has to go like this. Like Virgo was talking about A to Z, right? And it does. That makes sense. We follow this for a reason. It's the norm for a reason. We all agree that this is the way things shall be. But within that, we're also playing these infinite games. And don't forget about what is possible for you. And I keep seeing it like regardless of your age. You don't have to pressure yourself in like trying to make something happen by a certain time, but it's good to know what you would like to see happen. And there are some pretty interesting ideas. It's almost like, it reminds me the other day I did this exercise with myself where it was kind of like, I feel like I can learn from anybody, even if they don't believe what I believe or think what I think or have the same opinions. I actually find it kind of intriguing. But it's almost like, it's a pretty interesting mental exercise to put yourself in the shoes of that which is not who you are, and to not judge that. You know what I mean? And not try to make that what it's not. It's just understanding it and then coming back into your own position, right? Making sure that, well, I guess there's no hard feelings kept. If you do have kids, I could see that they're kind of like bickery in this time. But this is that inner child energy that needs probably some energy turned around, right? It'll some Someone's going to present someone with a gift. Okay, this is also something to consider in ways of rest, because I do feel like Taurus either pushes themselves too hard, like Capricorn energy, where they don't really stop, or there's like the extreme where it like totally runs out of steam, right, and can't really do much of anything else. So maybe you'd want to put some consideration around what you believe about or how you're functioning in ways of your routine and ways of work, like about rest and about work. And maybe look at, again, what that is. And there's something where perhaps there's also a consideration of like, did you inherit that kind of, where did you inherit your mentality, or what were your examples growing up of how people worked, how they viewed work, and I guess this is time, and then also how was resting, right? How was like the energy of relaxing also something that was learned. And do you have those same perspectives now? Is there some way there that things could shift? Because I'm also seeing someone has the opportunity to be able to sort of, because a person has an opportunity to change, that means there's some freedom involved in that, right? It's not a forced change. It's voluntary. Or I guess even involuntary if we're truly in the flow of it. But again, we can only see the opportunity, see the sign when we know what we're, in a sense, looking for. Huh. If you are wanting to slow down or give more attention to your inner child, also, like, I see an exercise for that could help you tap in there, which will also make a person's mind more clear, is when you can, try to just stop and set a timer for like, 10 minutes, and just savor something. That could be feeling the wind on your skin. That could be having a cigarette. It could be having a snack. I don't know, whatever, laying down, like whatever that is. And then whatever you choose to savor, if you will, like, why did you choose that? But not during the process. And the important part here, the question at the end is partial here. The important part is to, again, devote 10 minutes a day, if you can, to just be. Actually, I'll include this amazing woman that also, I believe, lives in the Earth Trine, that just did a really rad lesson about breathing internally and then breathing outside of your body. Taurus, to me, it holds the most of the feeling within the body, because Scorpio's like kind of the soul, and then the soul lives in the body, right? So there's a lot of energy in there, but I'll try to remember to include that. Hold on, Joe. Okay. I'm gonna say that's that. I hope this was helpful. Thank you, Taurus, for being here, or any of you who went all the way through. I hope this was good for you. I hope this was helpful. Usually Pisces season for me is a little touchy. I'm not a Pisces. I don't have any stars in Pisces, but it's still a strong place. I think it's a strong place for everybody, but it feels different this year, which is nice. Feels more clear. But yeah, I hope this is a beautiful season for you. If you have any significant air placements, I would go there, because it's pretty, that reading was really powerful. Okay. And whenever water, we do water, that'll be the last one. I'm guessing most Taurian folks have some kind of significant water anyway. The moon's exalted there, right? So, all right. I love you so much. I hope you have a great month, and thank you for your support, however, wherever you share and extend that. And I hope that is equally received, felt equally received. All right. I'll talk to you next time. Peace out.